What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about what gaming journalists will do the next time Hogwarts Legacy kind of reemerges. This is a topic that I thought of yesterday. I think the game 12 Minutes actually kind of set me off. I saw a lot of gaming journalists, a lot of blue check marks, just lose their minds in a way that I've rarely seen them do before. And I made that statement over on Twitter, and some people commented and said, like, well, Hogwarts Legacy is one that I think is worse. And I was like, oh, you know what, I completely forgot about that, because when I think about how gaming journalists have treated Hogwarts, treated Troy Leavitt, it's disgusting how they've acted. And I thought, what's it gonna be like when it comes back? Because this is, and we have talked about, by the way, like, sections of this before. We've talked about, like, the attack on J.K. Rowling. And to make it clear, by the way, I don't care what you think of her. I don't care whether you love her or you hate her, you separated the art from the artist, or, however. My opinion is that we don't need to look at Hollywood's elite. And I guess maybe she's not hot, but you don't need to look at somebody like her for validation of you whatsoever. If you're going based off of her opinion on how you should live your life, you're doing it wrong, and you need to separate yourself between you and the internet, right? I believe you should live your life, you should be yourself, you should do whatever you want, obviously in like the way of the law, okay? But you literally be yourself, and you don't need to look to Hollywood, you don't need to look to musicians, you don't need to look to actors, and anything like that. You don't need to look to that for validation. So just to kind of clear the air, or tell you guys kind of where I stand. But see, these gaming journalists, they don't really have minds. They're kind of all mush. They all think the same. We've talked about it before. I mean, they literally formed a hate group and attacked Troy Leavitt and took him down in a way. Like, we know the true story behind why he kind of stepped down, all that stuff, but they certainly helped. And I shouldn't say I've never seen it. Five Nights at Freddy's, that creator, he got the same kind of treatment. These guys will literally attack you to the point of putting you into your grave, or until you literally admit defeat. So that's absolutely disgusting. And then just the general hatred for Hogwarts Legacy is pretty funny. I mean, technically J.K. Rowling hasn't even physically, she hasn't actually done anything. She's just said words. But as we know, guys, it's 2021, and words are very, very hurtful to those that are the weakest. I really don't feel sorry saying that. They are just words. You don't have to listen to them. But again, these gaming journalists, they really don't have, they're not really in their right mind. So it's like, that's kind of, I know that was a long, that's a long recap, that's a long story, but basically that's kind of all there is to it. That's what I was thinking of yesterday. Like, that all happened in my mind in like a matter of seconds. I obviously extended a little bit here, or to say it out loud, but that all went through my mind yesterday when thinking about, like, wow, like, I remember well, it's only been like a year if you think about it, right? It's only been 1 year since it was shown, but I remember how horribly this game was treated pretty much by everybody. I mean, I guess, and again, like, hyperbolic, sure. Has it been every single gaming journalist? No. We've talked about several leaks for this game, and some of the leaks, things like Screen Rant or GameSpot. Some people out there have covered, like, when a writer has clarified if you can, like, kill or not, right? When he kind of give that cryptic tweet like that. So, some article covered it. At the same time, though, I assume that article has attacked Hogwarts Legacy in the past. So it's not every single person under the sun, right? But it's a lot of them. It's actually, I would say, a fair majority of them, and that it does get me worried. I've said it before. We've kind of clarified, or at least I've given my opinion. Like, I don't think the game is getting canceled. I don't think these gaming journalists pushing for the game to not exist, or that you shouldn't buy the game and stuff. Which, by the way, don't listen to gaming journalists for anything like that. Just make your own decisions in life, especially for something like this. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think the game's going to be canceled. I honestly have gone on to say I don't think it's going to be hurt, like, whatsoever. I actually think the opposite's going to happen, and they're going to tell people so much that we're all evil for supporting something like this, and the game is going to sell massive numbers, like numbers we've not seen for, I think it's good. Well, I guess, okay, like, it's not going to do Call of Duty. It's not going to do Red Dead. It's not going to do GTA, but, like, it's going to do very, very good for a AAA game. Like, it's going to do incredible. So, and I'm excited for that, and I'm ready for that, because that's when they're going to cry the most. But the thing is, though, all that, and I do believe that stuff, that's all true in my head. I'm fully, prepared to die on the sword, by that. However, I do think we're in for kind of an uncomfortable like launch or like, as we get closer, because I think just factually, and here's the thing. It really only is going to upset people, or it's really only going to be in people's minds for those that look. And so it could very well just be like a me problem, right? Like, I'm online now. Actually, I try to follow incredibly low amount of people from the gaming industry because I really don't like almost any of them, and I really don't care to follow almost any of them. I care about leaks, I care about rumors and news. I'll sometimes go to Reddit. I'll go to a couple different sites that are generally okay, and that's pretty much it. I stay off of really all the other websites. But I do think these things make their way into people's vision. You know what I mean? I don't actually think it's just a me problem. Because I'm sure there's going to be people that say, well, like, just stay off the internet, or don't go on Twitter, or don't do this, or don't do that. I mean, these things got pretty real. Like, going after Troy Leavitt, it got pretty real pretty quickly. It got from like, oh, this guy makes these videos, to everybody, and like they'll deny it, right? But they were very clearly gunning for his job. I mean, it was the most obvious thing. Everybody, I guess, with a brain that saw it, probably came to that conclusion. And they can deny it all they want, but they're just liars, right? So like, that's scary. Like, that in a way is scary. Now, is it going to work again for the game? No. Is it going to impact the game? I personally don't think so, but I do think it's going to be around the internet. So that's just something to keep in mind, of, and it's, it really is. I think it's going to just be kind of uncomfortable. I think we're going to do a pretty good, like, my plan for all this, by the way, like, I do like covering it because I do think it's very important to speak out against this kind of stuff when it happens. So, like, I like covering it and I will cover it. But I think you also need, obviously, to do the opposite of it, right? Where it's not, by the way, I'm not saying, like, just be positive to be positive. That's something very important as well. I'm not going to just love this game just because it's the Wizarding World or it's Harry Potter or whatever, right? Like, it needs to be a good game. If it's not a good game, I'm going to call it out. And maybe I'll lose people for that, but that's just, I'm not going to, like, lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We need to be honest. We need to demand a good product, and when we get it, you applaud them, you congratulate them, and if the product's not good, no threats, but you say, wow, this is not what I wanted, this is not what I expected, right? I think all of that stuff is very fair to do. But I just think in the background of all of that, when we're getting info on spells and we're seeing gameplay and all that stuff, that's going to be in the forefront. Again, that's going to be the most important part. And for the record, like, obviously I'm going to be covering that stuff very, very much as well, more than the other stuff. But there is going to be that annoyance, them kind of screaming into their void because, they have their handfuls of tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. They're those people that are just kind of stuck in that group. They'll never get out of it because they don't think for themselves. They do listen to others, and that's kind of all they do. They are in their own echo chamber, all that stuff. That's going to be very, like, annoyingly bickering kind of in the background, you know what I mean? And we just need to kind of, again, I don't know if we need to shut them up, because I do think it's important to kind of talk about it and say, this is not cool, this is, there's other ways of doing this, stuff like that, but it's going to be very interesting to see. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter or subscribe to my second channel, if you guys want to support us on Patreon or YouTube memberships, the links for everything is in the description below, okay? Thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.